Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for ScubaRadio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling the radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ, and Bubble Boy in the studio with me today. How are you, boys?
Doing great, man.
All right.
Boy, I hope you said Roy.
No, I said boys.
I'm not going to finish that.
At my age, I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, but we got the crew back in the studio because we figure, I already had COVID, so what are the odds?
No, that didn't even come into it.
Oh, it didn't?
Nope.
What, you just wanted to be close to Bubble Boy
I
once
come
again?
in anyway.
Oh, well, that's true. It's Bubble Boy that is kind of fresh to the studio.
I figured you're all cured by now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Cured like a ham.
Okay.
Twice as salty.
Well, don't lick me, and it won't be an issue.
You don't have to worry about that.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
what she said.
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, come on, Casey. You know you want some.
No, I'm not touching
Anyway.
it. I'm going to leave that lay right where it is, like a rug.
Casey the Tobacco Nut is connected via the web as a member of the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad. Also, Jerry the Diver Guy and Pete from Scuba Board. Or, what were you saying earlier today? He referred to himself with some kind of not what? I said not. Hey,
wait a minute.
Hey,
who are you calling a whore?
No, it wasn't that. What were you talking about earlier on the text there, Pete? You were talking about doing some project.
He
ran. As soon as I said that, he left. So,
Yep.
No, he was texting back and forth. I'm trying to look and find this because I thought it was quite funny. I was like,
He'll be back.
I was like, maybe this could be a new, new thing for him.
Fascinating
like a new,
so far.
He's a tinkerer.
Yeah, a new nickname. Yeah, that's right. He called himself Pete the Tinker.
No, that's what I called him.
Oh, you called it. Jerry the Diver Guy
Yes.
called him Pete the Tinker. And I'm like, it's like
Shouldn't it be Tinkerer?
you would think.
Well, yes.
Or I thought at first when I read it, I thought it'd say Pete the Stinker. And I'm like, that's not
Pete
very.
the Tinkler.
Those enlarged prostates will get you every time.
Okay. So, see, we already ran him off,
On
though.
my defense, when I did write that, I was kind of intoxicated.
What are the
It
odds?
happens.
What are the odds?
But it was about he was fixing stuff, right? He had a bunch of tools.
Yes.
He was very proud of his workmanship.
Yeah, I think it is. He likes to tinker with things. He's not a tinkler.
Pete's got some skills.
But yeah, he's out, over there in the Springs, the Florida Springs, and we were going to catch up with him today. He was connected, and now he's gone. Probably as soon as he saw Jerry, the Diver Guy, was connected, he was like,
Well,
I'm out of here.
Well, he's good with hardware, not so much with software.
Okay.
New thing for him.
He makes a very nice crimp.
Does he? Okay. I don't even know what that means exactly.
He
But
sent us all pictures of his crimp earlier.
okay. And that's code for what exactly? Is that what he calls it?
It's not code.
The crimp? I don't know where we're going with
It's
this.
electronics.
That's
it's like
code
a
for
micro
Pete the
crimp.
Tinkerer.
Okay. Well, anyway, Pete.
Dedicated to diving. Yes, sir. Here we are.
That's right. Pete from Scuba Board, or Pete the Tinkerer, may join us eventually if he can get reconnected. So we will catch up with him. I talked to him actually earlier today because I said, hey, you got to come on. We got to talk about the scuba show in Long Beach. I said, you're going to be there, right? He goes, nope. I'm like, what? Why aren't you coming? He goes, I got too many things to tinker with. So maybe he's too busy tinkering and not spending enough time, talking diving stuff. So I thought we'd resurrect that or resolve that today, but we'll see how that unfolds because I have a major announcement to make about the Scuba Show.
Oh, good, because we haven't touched on that enough.
Well, we haven't because this is brand new. This is a new prize that we're going to have to give away probably Saturday morning to open the show. We already have a Peregrine dive computer from Shearwater Dive Research. We also have an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip to give away to their Northeast Caribbean itinerary, like Saba, right? Now,
free COVID test kits.
Nope.
Wow.
You don't even have to wear a mask if you don't want to, believe it or not, for this show. But May 14th and 15th, you're going to want to be there early. It opens at 10 a.m. because we're giving away not one, but 2 round-trip airline tickets on Fiji Airways.
Wow.
I thought you were saving that to make an announcement.
What do you mean?
That's not going to keep anybody tuned in. You're supposed to save it till at least the next hour.
Well, no, I for someone, tolerating our nonsense here for the first few minutes, this is a bonus. This is what you get for
but what about
putting
the
up
rest
with
of
our
the show?
shenanigans.
Now they have no incentive to listen to the rest.
No, there's other stuff. I mean, Pete might even. Oh no, there's Pete the Tinkerer right now. See,
I am here.
He was tinkering so much he tinkered with his computer and disconnected accidentally. There, I guess. Is that what happened, Pete?
No, Windstream. I live at the end of the digital dirt road. I have to add wires and hold my tongue to the wind in order to connect to you guys.
Yeah, 2 tin cans and a string is what connects.
Crimped together.
I'm not that advanced.
Okay. All right. Well, but he's a tinkerer, and
he made
knows,
it work.
He knows how to make those kind of things and limitations work magic every now and then. So he is connected. But I don't know if you heard that, but we just announced
contacts.
Yeah. You can see him on Facebook, or Facebook Live, YouTube, and Twitch, and we apologize in advance. But I don't know if you heard this, Pete, but I just announced the big prize. We got another big prize to give away at the Scuba Show in Long Beach. 2 round-trip tickets on Fiji Airways, to go dive in the Fijian Islands. How about that? That's
Fiji, where I broke my leg. Good place.
Well, okay, there's that. You don't necessarily want to follow in Pete from Scuba Board's fin kick.
Oh, the finning was fine. It was the stepping into the abyss.
That whole walking issue, he has issues with.
Would I go back though? In a moment.
In a heartbeat.
Over.
Yeah. You go out there, do some diving. And one of the big limitations for folks in the USA, especially, is flying there because it is a bit of a trek. It's pretty easy, especially from the West Coast out in L.A. It's like a 10 or 11 hour flight, but it's nonstop. Fiji Airways really has a phenomenal airline. I mean, it's like another level when you fly international, like within a carrier like that compared to flying domestically in the U.S. It's like night and day. But they have it down to a fine science. I think you leave late in the day, West Coast time. And, they feed you dinner and then they turn off the lights and you can nod off for sleep. And then they wake you up at a particular time in time for breakfast and stuff. So it really, the flight, even though it's 10, 11 hour flight from L.A., it actually goes pretty quick if you can nod off. And they make it pretty comfortable on this airline. So we have 2 tickets to give away. And like I said, we'll probably do that Saturday morning as part of our opening ceremonies of the Scuba Show, and I'm pretty excited about that because it's like a $4,000 value. I mean, so somebody's going to be extremely happy at the Scuba Show for sure.
Greg,
Pete, what do you say?
There's a trick.
There's a trick.
When you fly there, if you fly at night, you have an incredibly long night.
Right.
Incredibly long.
Okay.
When you fly back, though, the night and days just go kind of cool.
Okay.
How did it go?
Yeah.
You can quote me on that.
Actually, I'm starting to wonder if we're going to need a translator. Let's get the translation computer going here. See if it understands.
That's Fijian.
Okay, what did he? Okay. Now it has no idea. I'm reading the paper. The paper could not translate what Pete from Scuba Word just said.
Here's a question for you on Fiji, though.
Yeah.
What is the official language for Fiji?
Fijian.
No.
Oh.
English.
Really? Well, there you go.
Boring.
Yeah, there's so many dialects of Fijian that they don't have. They have a hard time talking with each other. So everyone learns English.
Yeah.
And so when you go there, traveling around Fiji is ridiculously easy because everybody talks English.
Right.
It's
So
awesome.
what's the Fijian accent?
Hello, how are you? I am fine.
No,
British.
that is not.
It's a British accent.
Is it British? Really? Okay.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I don't remember. But it is probably too much kava. I drank some kava when I was over
Yeah,
there.
kava's cool.
Doubt it.
Yeah, it makes you a little loopy. But yeah, 2 round-trip tickets at the Scuba Show, May 14th, 15th. ScubaShow.com. Get your tickets in advance and make sure you're there early. Opens 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday morning. I'd say get there by 9 if you want a shot at
Just
those
be
prices.
there early.
There. More coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new Scuba Radio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 Scuba Radio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New Scuba Radio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter. Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
We are a 4-man saturation dive team.
Get suited up.
We're ready to leave surface.
Because there's too many fish in the sea. You know there's too many fish in the sea. I said there's short ones, tall ones, fine ones, kind ones. Too many fish in the sea.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubba Boy are in the studio with me. Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad, connected via the web, made up of Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut, and Pete the Tinkerer from Scuba Board. So, I don't know. Do you like that moniker there, Pete?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. All right. Jerry gave it to you. So
we have a local maker space here that we call the Gainesville Hacker Space.
Yeah.
And I'm the president.
You're
Go figure, huh?
You're the president of the hackers.
I am president of the Hacker Space, proudly so.
Okay. All right. Whatever works for you. That's fine. But he's a tinkerer. He's always making stuff out there in the woods and Gainesville and near the springs and stuff. And sometimes it's scuba related and sometimes it's not. But it, I kind of like knowing a tinkerer.
I am working on my 3D printer upgrade, going with the new motherboard and all that.
How about that? So he's a hacker, tinker.
Yeah.
Probably a tinkler.
I do tinkle from time to time.
Or a sprinkler.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. All right, so big news. We gave away we're giving away those round trip tickets on Fiji Airways at the Scuba Show.
I mean, if anybody wants to go to Fiji.
Yeah, what are the odds?
I mean, if you want to go, that's the way to do it.
Exactly.
If you don't, just don't worry about
That's a cool prize. I mean, actually, we are working on heading to Fiji this year to kind of have a visit to the island sometime this year for our 25-year anniversary of Scuba Radio. So that's in the works too. Who knows? Whoever wins those round trip tickets might want to come the same week we're there. You never know. Yeah, probably. They're probably smarter than that.
Going back to Boli?
No, it'll be up to them. This is just the airline ticket. So we're taking the biggest, hurdle out of the process of getting to the Fijian Islands is covering their airfare. Then they can decide whoever they want to go with. They'll be exhibiting there at the Scuba Show, a lot of the operators. So you can go there and talk to them and decide who you would like to go dive with.
Who wants my business?
Yeah. Or go with all of them. Spend a couple days here, a couple days there, that kind of thing. So it'll be up to them.
We actually spent 2 weeks there because it's such a long trip.
Exactly.
We spent
right.
one week at one resort, another week at another resort. It was great.
And like I said, the biggest hurdle to get over there is the transportation element. And that a lot of times that costs a lot more than the actual dive packages that you could purchase themselves. So we're taking that, that obstacle out of the way. So you can plan your dive adventure accordingly. All right, so there's that. There's some other news going on kind of related to diving. I mean, it just has to be loosely connected for us to talk about it, right?
God, I hope so.
And this is a real uplifting story about war. Yeah, there's that thing going on in Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
You've heard of this?
New dive site.
So, okay. You could look at that Russian boat that sank. Yeah, the Ukrainian.
If the tractors leave it alone.
Yeah, the Ukrainian. Was he a military guy? And he said he was certified. And he says, "Can't wait to go down and dive it. It's in 150, feet of water. It's on my list now." So he was kind of making a half joke. But the other story that popped up on our radar is that I didn't realize this, but evidently the Russians are using dolphins to protect their fleet, their naval fleet. In that part of the world, and so they got two big pens of dolphins, I guess near some of their boats or something, and they've trained the dolphins to go after any potential scuba divers that come near their vessels. And I'm like, now wait a minute, I like diving with dolphins. And I love seeing them, especially if you're lucky enough to see a dolphin while you're scuba diving. But I start reading these stories, and they've trained dolphins, they've trained beluga whales, and these dolphins have escaped captivity, but they've been taught, evidently, or trained to go after scuba divers. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Is this going to be a thing that we have to be on the lookout for? Pete, what do you think? You have any concerns?
They're the rare potato dolphin.
A potato. Oh, okay. There's more to it.
They're a potato dolphin. And when they wear them out, they make vodka.
Okay, all right. I didn't know where he was going with that one.
Was that a joke?
I think it was a lame attempt at
completely.
one.
Well, maybe now we know where Stinky the dolphin came from.
No, that's Tinky. Tinker.
No, Stinky. Remember Stinky the dolphin, the amorous dolphin we talked about a couple years ago?
Oh yeah,
Stinky.
Yeah, but I forget what was he doing though.
He was trying to get it on with some poor diver, some dude.
Well, I don't think the Russians are training the dolphins to have their way with
you never know, Greg.
divers.
They're sneaky.
I mean, oh boy. And I think that they've trained them to like ram them.
Yeah.
Because that that there has been incidents with dolphins, whether, people are trying to swim with them or whatever, and they get in between like a mother and its baby or something. And they have been known to get, a little aggressive, and they ram them with their nostril.
Well, that could backfire on the Russians too, because then they can't deploy any divers either.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're probably correct.
Doubt they'd be able to
Manatee.
teach them which divers are which. so.
Manatee? What do you mean manatee, Pete? What are you talking about?
I got torpedoed by a manatee. We had that.
Oh, yeah, well, that's right. There was that incident.
Oh, yeah, tell us about it.
I missed the whole point. Get a manatee out
Say
there.
it.
And the moral of the story is don't
GD
talk about it whatsoever.
Say it.
Yeah. Yeah, years ago. It's lucky we made it. Well, that was before our 20-year anniversary, wasn't it? I think it was. We almost didn't make it because of Pete's little manatee issue and story that he shared with everybody live on the radio. But
I'm
we'll
sorry
let that
for
one.
getting that started, by the way.
Yeah.
Must have been a Russian manatee.
Okay.
No, you're not.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
No, I'm not.
I will tell you though, with this story with these dolphins, does it concern you at all?
No, because they're too far away.
What do you mean?
They're not going to make their way down the Caribbean.
The ocean is connected, my friend.
I know, but you think they're going to come from Russia
they train one dolphin. The dolphin then they share information.
Just
they
watch
talk to
out for
each
the
other.
dolphins in the tracksuit.
Yeah, true.
Why?
That's why you know they're Russian. They'll have a tracksuit and they're like, Suka.
Okay.
In other words, watch out for the dolphins on steroids.
Okay, and I thought the potato dolphin joke was bad. Oof. Okay, so anyway,
let's keep coming.
You potato.
Swing and a
do-
miss. Ball two.
It does concern me. I think I'm going to be a little weary of seeing dolphins if I'm out scuba diving somewhere.
Do they migrate that far, Greg? Really?
Well, they're all over the place. It's,
Weary or leery?
I'd be more concerned about the
Little bit of
beluga
both.
whales.
The belugas. Yeah. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to say it, by the way.
Beluga.
That's right. That's the proper way to say beluga.
Little known
Whale.
fact, Greg.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Russian was my major at the University of Florida.
Okay, all right.
Scuba Radio.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving, flying, and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving, flying, and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why I wanted to tell you about Nanook Professional Protective Cases. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook cases generally cost less than similar products currently on the market. From an iPhone to a full set of dive gear, whatever you need to shield from the elements, Nanook Professional Protective Cases has the size, shape, and color for you. Go to nanook.com. That's NANUK.com for Nanook Professional Protective Cases. The evolution of protection.
Need an escape from reality for a while? Your favorite scuba action star, Mike Scott, is back in an all-new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys: Reefs Under Pressure. From the brilliant mind of author Eric Douglas comes the thriller that started it all. Listen as Mike unravels the death of a girl, the protest of new development, and the systemic destruction of coral reefs, all against the stunning backdrop of Grand Cayman Island. This one's got it all: submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface. When he was ready and completely relaxed, he wrapped his arms through the straps of the seat cushion and gently slid into the water.
Dive back into adventure with Cayman Cowboys. Also available, Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish. Download all 5 audiobooks now at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, or audible.com.
People, let me tell you about a friend I know. He's got the world's first scuba diving radio show. So now everywhere I am, and everywhere I go, the first thing that I tune to is Scuba Radio.
This This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master CJ, and Bubba Boy are in the studio with me. Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut, Pete the Tinkerer from Scuba Board, and now Vinny Two Tanks making up the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web. But I don't know. I kind of wonder if I'm alone here, wondering if, dolphins being used as weapons of war bothers anyone other than me. I guess you guys don't seem concerned by that at all.
No, I don't care.
You really don't care?
No.
I mean, if
They
you
start calling him Trigger, I might worry.
Well, maybe.
Instead of Flipper.
Yeah. I mean, but they look so lovable and approachable. If you see them, you'd go out of your way, want to get up close. But, if a dolphin was on a mission to take you out.
There's nothing you could do about it. They're so much faster than us.
Well, that is true. But I guess, if I saw one in the distance, I'd be going, hey. But now I'm not so sure if I want to get there.
He's gonna see you whether you do that or not.
Okay.
Take it like a man.
Excuse me?
Take it like a man. You're either gonna get rammed or you're not. Don't worry about it.
I would prefer not to be rammed by a dolphin.
I mean, sure, but you can't worry about it.
You can't. Well, okay. I guess I'm not worried about it. I guess I'm just going to be aware.
You know how low the percentage has to be?
Well, right. But I'm just saying that would be in the back of my mind. And I'd go like, okay, well, let me kind of observe the dolphin and make sure it looks like a friendly dolphin, which I'm not sure how you'd be able to tell the difference if a dolphin is friendly or has nefarious.
Friendly, he'd ram you gently.
Accent. Just listen to his accent as he makes a little noise in the water.
Okay. All right. Maybe. But ram you gently, huh? I don't know.
If he was friendly.
Yeah, they are very amorous. They are one of the most sexual mammals on the planet. You know this, right? They know this. It sounds like they have a little too much experience with this, if you ask me. All right, coming up, stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Hello, this is Koji. I'm a diver, originally from the land of the rising sun. But now, America, my home. You are listening to Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Run! It's Godzilla!
Now, here is someone considered by many to be the Godzilla of diving. Greg the Dive Master, coming Tokyo!
Okay, I don't know what that'll do for us if Tokyo can pick up the show, but we welcome all people.
Kazura will scare away the dolphins for you.
Okay, see? I think I'd be more afraid of a dolphin than seeing Godzilla. I'd go out of my way to find Godzilla. He always ends up being the good monster, right?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You know? When was the last time?
He probably eats dolphins like sushi.
Well, exactly. He fries them with his laser beam bad breath. Isn't that what his superpower is for Godzilla? He has
atomic. I think it's atomic.
Atomic bad breath.
And atomic fire.
Yeah. So, he just fry those Russian dolphins, turn them into, grilled dolphin, which is pretty tasty, actually. I don't think it's the right type of dolphins, though.
I don't think it's the right type of dolphin.
Different
Greg.
type of dolphin. These the ones that the Russians are using.
For once, you're right.
Oh, thank you.
Those
Thank you,
taste
CJ.
a lot like manatee.
Ah, well, okay. Pete
I wasn't
evidently
going to
knows.
go there, but.
All right. Well, dolphins are in the news.
No one's eating manatees.
And people are fearing them, or at least, I'm not, don't get me wrong. I'm not fearing dolphins. I'm now aware that they're being used as weapons in certain parts of the world. And when I see a dolphin, if I'm scuba diving, I'm going to kind of observe it a little bit first before I go, hey, dolphin, come get a picture with me.
Greg, they've been using these dolphins as weapons since the 1980s, and then it started here in the United States, right?
Well, I have heard this.
The Cubans were using sharks.
Yeah.
They were using sharks. How? By hitting people with them or what?
Hell, that
Laser beams.
little kid in the Keys trained
Oh.
Flipper how to disable bombs. I mean,
Yeah, sharks with laser beams out of their heads.
I read that article, Greg. I think the dolphins in Russia, they will plant like mines on the side of ships.
Yeah, they can do that too.
Yeah.
Little
These are,
limpets.
these are smart.
And the U.S.
swimmers.
government has the same thing. We have the same
Well,
program.
they copied it from us. Yeah.
Yeah. So we trained our dolphins to kill people, and that doesn't seem nice.
We just need more dolphins.
Ours are normal dolphins, not the potato dolphins.
Okay.
the Japanese train their dolphins carry samurai swords.
Okay, now you guys are just making stuff up, which is inappropriate. There's another story, by the way, in Hawaii when it comes to spinner dolphins. You know, there's a whole thing, like in actually Vinny Two Tanks will recall our little encounter. I believe those were spinners dolphins that we kind of cruised into a big pod of off of Catalina. Wasn't those spinner dolphins, Vinny, when we did that back in the day?
Tell you the truth, I'm not sure, but there was a lot of them.
Yeah, there were a ton, and I'm gonna say they were spinner dolphins. And spinner dolphins are a little smaller than like spotted or bottlegoose dolphins. Yeah, they jump up out in the water and they twirl around. That's how they got their name, spinner dolphins.
Did you see the samurai swords?
Oh, damn you, Casey. All right, so anyway,
Very dangerous.
These spinner dolphins,
Dangerous swords.
it's quite a tourist attraction to go out and find the big pods of dolphins, which we did experience a similar thing off of Catalina Island years ago with Vinny Two Tanks. And it's an amazing experience. And, you know, there's operators that offer encounters with them. You know, if you don't want to interfere with their migrating patterns and stuff like that, but it's pretty common for boats to go out and, you know, find a big pod of dolphins and cruise alongside of them, or if you were to go out in front of the pod, for instance, they're going a certain distance, they'll go out in front of the track that the pod of dolphins are in and throw some snorkelers in the water. I mean, they do this all over around the world, and it's quite popular.
Is this a sacrifice?
No. The dolphins will swim by them, and they'll have a close encounter. And sometimes they'll stop and check them out and stuff like this. No, well, I haven't heard of any incidents, but evidently there's some new law out in Hawaii where they have basically banned any interaction with the dolphins in Hawaii.
Well, they're maniacs. I mean, they put pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
You can't take the Hawaiians
I
seriously.
love pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, I do too. I'm a big
disgusting.
fan.
You guys
Really?
are freaks.
Well,
You know, that's the most popular topping is pineapple and ham.
That bull.
Really?
No, it's
I
not.
I didn't know
No,
that.
it's
No
not.
idea.
He made,
But it sounded like the thing to say.
Okay.
Exactly.
Sausage.
Yeah, but anyway, so it's creating quite a stink out in Hawaii because it's put these operators. Now, most of them are like snorkel dolphin operators. They're not necessarily dive operators, but it's kind of I mean, I understand that they're trying to protect marine life and marine mammals. That's where it's under the guise. But they've literally, went after these operators that are creating these encounters. And some of them, by the way, involve people with special needs. I mean, a lot of the swim with the dolphin programs down in the Keys, even in the Bahamas, they have found over the years that is quite a thing. Like if someone has some physical challenges, they put them in the water with these dolphins, and the dolphins, I've heard billions of stories how they seem to sense that this particular person has a problem, or maybe can't walk or whatever, and the dolphins can kind of sense that this person has issues, and they kind of help them out in the water and have a special encounter and all this kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff is, I think it's a great experience, whether you have a challenge or not. I've done it. I think it's an amazing thing. I mean, you don't want to interfere with the dolphins, migration patterns and food and all that kind of stuff. And everything has to be done, with, respect for the animals. But they've just come in and just said, oh, can't do it. Sorry, you're done. And it seems like government overreach to me.
I've been getting a lot of that lately.
Yeah, a little bit.
What happens since your special need, Greg?
Well, I'm not going to share what my special need is. So
What
We
happens,
all know.
Greg, if you mix spinners with spinsters in the water? like intermingle.
That'd be a
Okay.
special need, Pete.
Yeah, maybe. But I just think it's too much. What are they doing wrong? They've been doing
Dolphins
this for
may
years.
enjoy it.
Yeah, and that
They didn't.
matter of
They
fact,
just swim away.
Well, matter of fact, one of the operators in Hawaii, I saw, their response, and that was exactly what they said. It's like, look, we don't feed them, we don't do anything that interferes with them. We put them next to the dolphins, and then it's up to the dolphins if they want to swim around and check you out. Because, like you said, they're curious, and now
They're
that's
very
going to be
curious.
illegal.
So
That's
stupid.
Now it's illegal. They can't even do that.
Come on, Hawaii.
You
Get
gotta
your crap
swim away.
together.
A lot of that kind of stuff happens with the Florida manatee. We kind of have the same rules in Florida. You're not supposed to get close to the manatees, and except in certain areas they allow some of that. But technically, you're not allowed to get in the water with a manatee if you saw them. But if you're in the water swimming in a spring, and Pete's done this, he's told this story many times, one too many.
Oh, I haven't
matter of
heard it.
fact.
And again.
And it's a magical moment when they come in and check you out, and you can hear them underwater and all that kind of stuff. But if you happen to be the person who initiates the interaction, you're technically breaking a law and could
Or
face
breaking a rib.
$20,000 fine.
Or 3.
Yeah.
Well, you can't
Greg-
approach the manatees at all. They have to approach you.
Right.
You
That's
can
correct.
But,
be in the water, lay still, and if they swim up, you're fine.
It comes down to interpretation.
They have to
though.
initiate.
Yeah, but if they come to you, you're supposed to go away. You're
No.
supposed to back off.
No.
What do you mean?
No,
No,
you can stay
Stand your
right where
ground.
you're at.
You can stand your ground. Oh, Florida's stand your ground.
Yeah, well, stand your water in this case. But if they come
What if a
up and
manatee
initiate
breaks into your
contact,
house?
You can actually return contact. You just can't initiate. You just
Oh.
can't initiate.
Okay, well, but in Hawaii, evidently, if they approach you, you're supposed to back off. They said,
They
which
swim
seems
faster.
yeah. Well, exactly. How are you supposed to do that? It just seems ridiculous to me. It's like, come on, was this really
My
a big problem?
Stand your ground.
Anyway,
My problem is with the Save the Manatee people.
yeah.
Every time I try to leave the frickin' water, they push me back in saying I can make it. I don't get it.
Oh boy.
That was actually good.
That was a pretty good attempt at a fat joke, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
Oh,
good.
yeah.
That
Don't
was
call me a
good.
joke.
Self-defecating humor.
Don't call me a joke.
Okay, well, anyway.
More of a riddle.
Enough of dolphins. I think we've covered the dolphin stories enough on the show today. Right after the Scuba Show, we're going to head down to the Florida Keys for the 20-year anniversary of the Spiegel Grove sinking. We'll talk about that next. Stay close.
Scuba Radio.
Would you like to talk diving? Greg the Dive Master's all toweled down and ready to take your call now. Call Scuba Radio at 1-888-88-SCUBA.
It's better in the Bahamas. Want proof? Book Grand Bahama Dive Week, May 22nd to the 28th. Caradonna Dive Adventures is your connection for this 6-night all-inclusive stay at Viva Wyndham Fortuna, including unlimited beverages, alcohol, cocktails, and wine. You'll get superior garden view accommodations, a 1-day 2-tank Tiger Shark dive, and 4 days of 2-tank boat dives with Reef Oasis Dive Bahamas. Call Caradonna Dive Adventures to book your Bahamas Dive Week, May 22nd to 28th now at 1-800-328-2288 or go to caradonna.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater. Dive computers for demanding divers.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio Scuba Cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board liveaboard with you or not. I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive! Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
This group has sucked from the very start, from the teat of friendship.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy are in the studio with me. And these spinner dolphins in Hawaii, by the way, the dive operators or the businesses that are offering these swim with the dolphin programs are suing the state or the feds or whoever they have to sue about this regulation that bans swimming with spinner dolphins in the Hawaiian Islands. So we'll see how that goes. But I think I'm with them. I mean, you don't want to interfere with their mating habits and in their migration patterns and their food things. But most of the operators do that stuff pretty well. I think the wild ones. Now, this is totally separate from those pent-up dolphin encounter things that you would see at a cruise ship terminal thing or whatever. We're not talking about that kind of stuff. We're talking about in the wild. They're out there.
Water.
Yeah, they're swimming around, and you just happen to be in the area, and you're observing them. Maybe you get in the water, and they swim by you if they want to and check you out. It's kind of it's a pretty cool encounter when it's the interaction is really up to them.
Yeah, it's probably unique for them, too. They're like, hey, look at those weird pink fleshy things.
Exactly.
You don't see those every day.
Right. Hey, I say we ram him. That
What's
was the Russian spinner dolphin that said that.
What's next? I mean, are they going to outlaw us from going to see whale sharks?
Probably.
Yeah.
You betcha.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, all that kind of stuff, is when you get into the business side of things of the operators that offer those encounters, they're 9 times out of 10, they're pretty sensitive to the animals because that's how they make their living. They don't want to do anything to mess up the animals or to scare them away or to screw them over. They usually love them. And they
dive and let dive, Greg. Dive and let dive.
Exactly.
Just because you don't want to do it doesn't mean you got to stop everyone else.
Well, and then you get some armchair scientists come in and say, "Oh, no, you can't do that. You can't do this." Whether it's shark diving, whale sharks, whatever. It happens too much. And it's usually someone who sets in these regulations gets power hungry or whatever. But I'm off my soapbox.
Not even divers.
Yeah, they're not, probably. I bet you're correct. All right, so moving on to some other stuff. We're going to do the Long Beach Scuba Show May 14th and 15th. And right after the show, I'm flying straight from L.A. down to Miami to catch an event going on May 17th in Key Largo that is going to celebrate the 20-year anniversary of the sinking of the Spiegel Grove. Now, they have an event. I'm looking here. The name of the facility. Hold on.
Please stand by.
I just have the address. It's like mile marker.
Greg will be right back momentarily.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't read it that far. It's too far away from me. But it's at one of their big convention halls in Key Largo. It'll be easy to find. You can Google this, and we'll have more information next week for you for sure on it because we're going to talk to some of the people that are putting on this event. But it happens 7 to 9, May 17th in the evening, and they're going to have like a reception for an hour, and then they're going to have a presentation with people that were there during the sinking of the Spiegel Grove, which is, one of the biggest, if not one of the biggest, definitely in the Keys, if not the world, as far as famous wreck dives that you can do now. And they're going to just celebrate, how this thing went down 20 years ago. And like Stephen Frank will be there, Captain Slate. We'll be doing, some of our radio show that week from this event. And, the dive god Neil Watson is threatening to join us. Peter Huge, maybe even show up. A bunch of diving dignitaries. And then there'll be us. But yeah, it's going to be quite a thing going on in the Florida
dignitaries
Keys.
and dingbats.
Yes.
They say the reception is going to be at the Key Largo Chamber of Commerce. That's probably what you're talking about, May 18th.
No.
7:30.
No, wrong. That's incorrect.
Mary Nelson.
There it is.
Governmental and Cultural Center.
That's what it is.
102.
Yeah. Murray Nelson Cultural Center.
Yeah, that's where the Key Largo Chamber of Commerce is.
Okay, but it's Tuesday night, May 17th, 7 to 9. So the thing you're talking about is the next day, Pete. I think that's something else going on. But the one Tuesday night is
that's to clean up for Tuesday night.
Yeah.
There's one going on Tuesday as well.
Well,
same place.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the one on Tuesday night is for the Spiegel Grove. The thing you're talking about is something else. Is something else going on there.
No, that's for the Spiegel Grove as well.
They're having two things in a row.
Yeah. Now there's one on the 17th also at the History of Diving Museum.
Okay. Yeah, and I know about that.
That's on the May 17th as well.
Okay, but that's not that evening. I don't think it's that evening. That might be something separate.
That's what the internet's saying.
Yeah, well, the internet. Bunch of liars. Anyway,
we need Barry for the correct answers.
Yeah. Well, we'll like I said,
he knows it all.
Actually, next week we're going to have Lisa from the History of Diving Museum on Scuba Radio. She'll give us the complete lowdown. But you can start planning. Yeah, but you can start planning now if you want to be a part of this event. It's going to be a pretty cool thing happening down in the Key Largo area. May 17th and 8th, and we're going to be down there for 3 nights. We're getting down there on the 16th, and then we'll do some diving, hopefully with Captain Slade on Tuesday before the event, Tuesday evening, and doing some diving and visiting the History of Diving Museum. Maybe head over. We're going to be staying at the Islander Resort, by the way, which was the backdrop for that TV show Bloodline, which is a cool Keys resort. And that'll be headquarters for the Scuba Radio crew. So plan accordingly if you'd like to join us. Like I said, it'll be like May 16th, 17th, and 18th that week. All right? Okay, hour 2 is on deck. We talked about dolphins in hour 1. It's time to switch over to alligators and why you should care as a diver. That's coming up in hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio. This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling your radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're going to start a new life. under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to Hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Okay, so Hour 1, we talked about how the Russians evidently are using dolphins to protect their boats, off the coast of Ukraine. And they've trained them to ram potential divers if they get close to their vessels and trying to sink them, I assume, or whatever the case may be. Kind of a nefarious use of dolphins, if you ask me. Not a fan. Not a fan of that
Big
at all.
Big word, Greg. Good for you.
Thank you. Dolphins. It took me a while to figure out how to say that, but I finally think I got it down.
I don't think Putin has many fans.
He said poo.
I said Putin.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway.
I don't think he has many fans.
All right. Maybe. That's probably a fair observation.
He's got fewer tanks.
Okay. All right. That's enough out of you. But I wanted to move on to a different type of marine life. It's a little closer to home that we have more of a chance to see when we're diving, say, the Florida Springs and Pete the Tinkerer's backwoods or neck of the woods. Alligators.
Your neck of the woods too.
Well, that's true. I mean, yeah, I'm probably about an hour away from diving the springs where it's very common to see the Florida alligator. But this time of year, you got to be extra careful because you know what this is, right? Do you guys know it's springtime?
Alligator mating season.
Exactly. Love is in the air for the Florida Gators. And that is and I'm not talking about
football team.
Not the football team. And you don't want to be near the Gators when they're mating, I don't think.
I don't want to be near them, period.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
I stay the hell away from gators.
I never had any trouble with them. I had several alligators in the lake behind Crazy Dog, and they never gave me any problem.
What about during mating season? This is the time of year, though, when they're mating.
Well, we dove in it year-round.
Yeah, try it now.
Yeah, go ahead and jump in there. Wear your sexy bathing suit, though. Just to make it more interesting.
The one Greg likes.
Stop wearing my green scaled suit.
Okay, all right, yeah. So, but I honestly am. I'm a little more weary of alligators than I am of sharks. I mean, and I never even thought about dolphins.
Bubbles, Greg.
Until we started finding out what was going on. Bubbles? What do you mean bubbles?
Bubbles will protect you.
Well, evidently, when the alligators mate,
to a point,
just so you know how the whole thing works, when alligators get their freak on, it's a fairly short experience, like less than a minute. And what they do is they get together, and the male coaxes the female out to deeper water, and then they both submerge, and then there's a Vesuvius of bubbles that evidently happened during the lovemaking process, and then they're done. So that's what it.
Just alligators.
Well, good point there, Casey. I don't really need you to describe your lovemaking experiences, but I would imagine they could be similar.
I'm not gonna go there.
Okay, thank you. Good. That's what I was hoping for. But yeah, evidently that's what happens. But if you, at this time of year is when we have a lot of encounters with gators, like coming into people's swimming pools in Florida and stuff like that, because they're out on the prowl for a mate.
Just wear a bell and carry bear spray.
A bell and bear spray. So
yes.
They don't like bear spray, evidently.
Well, nothing likes bear spray.
Well, what about the bell?
Here you come and they go the other way.
Oh, do they? Oh,
and the best way.
Well,
the best way to know if there's a big alligator in the lake.
Yeah.
That you find their scat, and if there's little bells in it, it sounds like bear spray. Stay away.
Okay. You could follow that advice, and you'd be stupid. Or you could.
Actually, if you put the bell on, mostly tourists wear them, and the gators put on neckerchiefs and say, "Oh, they're serving lunch."
Okay, you guys are worthless. Okay, so
the best thing to do, Greg, is just go diving with Barry and let him go first.
all right, well that's
There you go.
That's why we dive as a buddy team.
Yeah.
Chances are they can
Make
only
sure
take
you
one out
have
at
your
a time.
knife
Yeah.
so you can stab your buddy. That way
Right.
he can't outswim the alligator.
Okay, there's that. But you know, I don't have you've never had any bad encounters with a gator with all your freshwater diving in Florida there,
No.
Pete?
I've
Well,
had several encounters with gators, none of them bad. Air bubbles, you take out your regulator, blow at them, they skedaddle the opposite direction. They don't like when you fart out your face.
Oh. Wow, that's a skill.
That's what I've been doing wrong.
How does that go, Pete?
No, that's enough. But okay, all right. So you can use bubbles
You know
as
how they named alligators, don't you, Greg? This is serious now. This is not a joke. This is
okay.
serious.
All right. Lay it on
The
us.
Spanish word for gator is lagarto, and when the Spaniards say it, they use two letters in front of called El Lagarto. That's how alligators got their name. It's a lizard. El Lagarto. That's a true fact.
And then Styx
or
did
it
that
could've
song,
been a,
El Gato, mia, El Gato.
Or
No?
it could have been a stuttering Spaniard going, gator.
All right. All right. Jerry's having a seizure.
I heard it because
But really,
gators
Greg,
always
if
tell
you
you
ever-
later.
All right. Hold on. Wait. One at a time. Casey, go.
If you
Casey.
encounter a big-
alligator-
Casey. Holy crap. Casey. You have the floor.
Greg, you need like 3 more channels on that so you can independently.
Yeah.
Yes, Casey. Go. What?
When gators are leaving, they say later, and when crocodiles are leaving, they say in a while. That's the
Really?
difference.
I give him the floor for that?
Wow.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for that.
What a tremendous waste of air.
Just one of them days.
Greg.
Yes, Pete. You have the floor.
Anytime you're being challenged by any critter, whether it's under or over or on top of the water, bubbles. I'm telling you, just hit the bubbles, hit the free flow, your regulator.
How could you do
Adam.
that on the surface?
No, you can use your octopus and create a
Super
bubble
elastic
thing.
bubble
When I
plastic.
was a kid, before it was illegal to harass alligators, we'd swim under them at like on a spring run.
Uh-huh.
We'd swim under them while they're sitting on the surface. They're lying, the tail's coming down, and we'd just gently hit the bubbles on their belly just to watch them fly. It was fun. You know, meow. It was awesome.
Why do I picture Pete like out there in the water with like blowing soap bubbles?
Well, if you did that now, though, wouldn't the gator on the surface, though, think that, hey, there's a gator below me getting its freak on? Might want to jump and get back down in there. You know what I mean? You got to be careful what time of year you do that, Pete. You think?
Well, we didn't know that back then, and I
Right.
don't think it mattered.
Yeah. I really haven't heard of any divers having a real problem with gators. They just, I don't know. There's something about gators that kind of make me a little more nervous than sharks and things.
Me too.
Because
They freak me
I
out.
don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's just a phobia. But yeah,
Just
but yeah.
don't dive in black water.
Well, I mean, you dive where there's water. Period. If that's your option. I mean, I like diving the springs. I'm not going to not dive just because gators. I'm just a little weary of them.
Well,
That's
there was
all.
a diver at one of the springs a while back. I read he got bit in the head. Like the gator came up and.
Oh, that's right. Well, that was one of the guys who was going after shark teeth in a river
Ah,
or one of the inlets.
He got teeth
over on the west
He
coast.
found the teeth, all the teeth.
But it was
Well,
bad visibility, and probably the gator couldn't see good too, and he got down close and was feeling around for shark teeth or something, and a gator got a hold of him. Because
I mean, the most stories I heard from any of the divers were the golf ball collectors.
right,
They
well,
had problems
that's true.
on the course
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, which you could understand because the gators are thinking they're protecting their eggs. So yeah, I mean that's a
their
good point.
territory, and it's dark water, and they can't see.
All those golf club or golf ball, divers.
Greg,
I bet. I wonder if
eggs
they
are on the
do.
surface.
What's that?
Eggs are not in the water; they're on the surface and a nest on the surface.
Well, yeah, but the gators are in the lakes, and they've had bad encounters with the
Well, it's
golf.
territory. They're
golf ball
defending their
divers.
territory against
Yeah.
this other big thing.
And I would imagine that's even more so in the spring, or maybe right after the spring, maybe because they've laid eggs or something, and they're protecting their nests. I don't know. It's, there might have been just a little bit of knowledge you picked up about gators in this segment. If not, well...
El Lagarto.
Yeah, there you go. There's that. That'll have to do. We're coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
It's better in the Bahamas. Want proof? Book Grand Bahama Dive Week, May 22nd to the 28th. Caradonna Dive Adventures is your connection for this 6-night all-inclusive stay at Viva Wyndham Fortuna, including unlimited beverages, alcohol, cocktails, and wine. You'll get superior garden view accommodations, a 1-day 2-tank Tiger Shark dive, and 4 days of 2-tank boat dives with Reef Oasis Dive Bahamas. Call Caradonna Dive Adventures to book your Bahamas Dive Week, May 22nd to 28th now at 1-800-328-2288 or go to caradonna.com.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Immerse yourself in a whole new world when you go deep sea diving.
Oh, I've got the perfect outfit. This is great!
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy with me in the studio. Jerry the Diver Guy. Casey the Tobacco Nut. We got Vinny Two Tanks and Pete from Scuba Board.
Yo.
Or Pete the Tinkerer with us today as well. Rounding out the crew. Okay, so we've covered dolphins. We've covered sharks. We've covered...
Gators.
Gators, pretty much, yeah. As much, you learned a little bit about gators and on top of a bunch of other nonsense.
Let's talk
You
platypus.
missed the turtle discussion, Greg.
Why, do you want to talk turtle?
Well, we already did.
What, how did we talk about turtle?
Air.
Don't point at a turtle.
Don't point at a turtle. Why?
It'll bite your finger.
Well,
Bite your finger.
or the puffer fish.
It'll think
could
it's
do
a
that,
sausage
too.
and go, yum.
Yeah, well, or hot dog. Yeah, you don't want to do that. All right,
Or
well,
other appendage.
or cabbage. Is that what you said?
Appendage.
Oh, okay, appendage. Yes.
Don't dive naked.
Well, you may want to. I mean, if that's your thing, as long as I'm not around, I don't want to see.
Things you don't know about.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's enough out of you.
You can dive naked if there's a mermaid around.
Excuse me?
Those are called manatee. You're making the same mistake those old sailors made.
Okay, you guys
Stay
are
streamlined either way.
Yeah, you guys are making no sense whatsoever.
There's that bubble curtain again.
So I wanted to talk about another possible dive site that I didn't realize how far they were taking this, but I believe it's off Fort Walton Beach, Pensacola area. And evidently they've formed a organization called the Underwater Museum of Art. Does that sound appealing to you guys?
Nope.
What do you mean, no?
I think they're all wet.
Because there's enough cool stuff to see underwater. I don't need
Well, in that part of Florida, there's a lot of sandy bottom. That's why you have the wreck of the Oriskany. They sank that many years ago.
Sell me.
Well, I mean, if it's just
Make it appealing.
In the Gulf, there's a lot of areas off the coast of Pensacola. I mean, they have a lot of wrecks because there's not a lot of reef there. So they've sunk a lot of artificial reefs to create habitat for fish life. And evidently they're taking it to another level with some underwater artwork. And one of them is like a giant skull. Like they've created some giant cement skull, I guess. Well, I don't know what it's made out of.
I'm listening.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounded. I mean, I've seen a picture of it on the website. You can check it out. Let's see, umafl.org is the website for the Underwater Museum of Art. And I think, it might be near. I'm not sure if this is part of that project where they created, the ring of military guys. You remember what I'm talking about, Pete? We heard about this a few years ago where there was a guy who was sinking down. They're creating an underwater memorial for the U.S. Armed Forces. So there's someone from the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and they're putting these different statues underwater to commemorate the armed forces and creating this underwater, kind of like habitat to celebrate the military, but also create artificial stuff. I don't know if this is part
That's in
of
Clearwater.
Is that Clearwater?
That's what it says.
Okay, so this is different.
I think
then.
it's in Clearwater.
Okay, so this
I think
this
they use
project.
Marines first.
Yeah, I think they don't have all of them done. They've just sank one of the statues. So I was wondering if this is the same thing. So, but you're right. I guess it is totally different. But this is in the Gulf of Mexico.
Starting.
Yeah, Gulf of Mexico, off of Grayton Beach State Park in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, and that's up in the Panhandle, right? In that Fort Walton Beach area.
Yeah, Fort Walton's up in the Panhandle.
Yeah,
almost Alabama.
Yeah, but Grayton Beach State Park. I don't know exactly where that is.
Is it a shore dive, or do you have to go by boat?
I think it's close enough to shore where you can go, but it doesn't show real pictures, but it talks about this giant skull that either they're getting ready to place or maybe it's already placed. I don't really. I'm not totally clear, but it says
don't get ahead of it.
They got a bunch of things planned. I mean, there's the skull is in the middle, and then they got all these other things like a genie lamp, and I mean, this stuff looks like it's pretty big, but you'd go down underwater and see it. I think it's in 50 feet of water, but they've created this organization. I guess it's the first of its kind, an underwater museum of art. I mean, we've heard of underwater art projects or sculptures, say down in Grenada, they've done it, and in Mexico. I mean, these type of projects have been showing up all around the world over the last, I'd say, it's become more and more popular over the last 10 years or so. And maybe these guys are looking to take it to a new level.
Grayton Beach State Park, I think, is east of Destin.
Okay.
It's like going from Destin to Panama City.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It's somewhere in the Panhandle there, right? But regardless, I mean, who cares? I'm just thinking, what do you think about this idea? I mean, it sounds like something that might be worth checking out. Initially, CJ was like, nope, don't care.
Now that I see the artist rendering, the skull does look pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of depends on what's under there and what what they're putting under. But
I thought it was going to be like finger painting and stuff.
Oh, boy. Yeah,
that is correct, Greg.
Like watercolors?
You got Destin, then Miramar, Santa Rosa, and then Grayton.
Okay. So, I mean, would you go and see this stuff or what?
Panama.
Would you see it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, does that sound like a big enough draw?
Dude.
Yeah.
One of the sculptures is a giant pineapple.
Okay. So if you're a fan, and you're a fan of the, pineapple ham pizza. So is that enough?
See if SpongeBob is there.
Ah, there we go. That's probably what it is. Bikini Bottom. You're right. They're probably doing a little bit of that. But,
And
these
they
kind of
do have the skull sunk, I think. I think I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Yeah, I just don't see the actual photo. I just see like a graphic. So I don't know what it looks
I'm
like.
seeing a photo.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's a skull. And
It's on artnet.com.
And how big does it look, though? It looks like it must be like 5 feet tall at least off the bottom, isn't it?
At least.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a
Looks
big...
like Cro-Magnon Man. Or
Yeah.
maybe Vinny. I'm not
Well,
sure.
it's the skull of King Kong. It's like that big. Yeah, wouldn't it be? Something like that?
Yeah, and it could be King Kong.
Yeah, might be.
They got the pineapple down there too already.
Well, King Kong has to eat something. I mean, they're not going to put him down there with nothing to eat, I guess.
Well, it's just his skull. He's dead.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
Godzilla 1.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know. It might be a new dive site to add to the list. I'm just throwing it out there to the crew, and you guys seem to think it's all right, right?
Road trip.
Road trip. All right.
Excuse to
It's gonna
die.
attract fish no matter what you do. I mean, if nothing else, it's an artificial reef that'll attract fish, and that's
There you
always
go.
cool.
That's
We
always
can hit
awesome.
Vortex Springs while we're there.
Okay, more the merrier. More coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
People, let me tell you about a friend I know. He's got the world's first scuba diving radio show. So now everywhere I am, and everywhere I go, the first thing that I tune to is Scuba Radio.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy are in the studio with me, and the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web. Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey Tobacco Nut. We got Vinny Two Tanks, and even Pete the Tinkerer from Scuba Board assisting today's 2-hour radio spectacular. Nothing?
If
Nothing
this is
from anybody?
spectacular, what's the regular show like?
I thought we were on Scuba Radio.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's that. All right. Well, by the way, it really doesn't matter because we're all going to be dust when the world, is, and everything goes extinct. Did you hear about
that's a cheerful diving thought.
Yeah, well,
that's gloomy.
Warning on mass extinction of sea life. It's an oh my God moment. A new study finds that fossil fuel emissions, blah, 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 will create a mass extinction by 2300.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what they're predicting. The scientists put that out this week.
I thought you were still worried about the dolphins from Russia.
Well, I am. I mean, because the extinction of everything else, I mean, that's coming, but we'll be long gone. Do we care?
Nope.
Okay, no one cares.
No.
Well, we
fact,
survived
Greg.
the Mayan time clock, so
In the Jurassic period, we
Yeah.
had no permanent ice anywhere on Earth. Seas are about 130 foot deeper, which is great for us scuba divers.
Uh-huh.
There
right.
is the biggest flora and the biggest fauna called dinosaurs, and those great big palms and all that. So the Earth didn't care. We
Uh-huh.
may not like it, but the Earth didn't care.
Okay. He sounds like that shingles commercial.
I have one question. Greg.
Yes, Casey.
Who will be leading Scuba Radio in 2300?
Well, they're planning to put my brain in a jar and hook it up to some kind of cyborg or something, from what I recall. That's written into the.
Is that what they told you to make you feel better?
Yeah. So it'll be some digital form. It'll probably be way better than it is now.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Take a look at it on the ocean floor. Just go down there, take your scuba gear and go down there. One of you would do that, I know.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. That is for International Jazz Day, which, by the way, is today. Did you know that?
I did not.
It's International Jazz Day. Now you know. You're all the wiser.
What are you doing to celebrate?
I just played that song.
That's
sounds,
it?
That sounds like international jazz to me, as close as I
Let's
know.
do some jazzercise.
Oh, wow. There's a mental image we didn't need. But anyway, scientists are predicting the end of the world anyway. So, maybe it doesn't matter. But yeah, this report comes out this week and basically paints this picture that all the marine life is all going to die.
Greg,
and everything.
don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Oh, I'm not saying I do.
Don't worry about it.
I'm just, it kind of annoys me because it's like, they're saying, oh, if we don't do this, everything's going to die. Well, yeah, but we're going to do something.
Oh, I see the author's name, Chicken Little.
Oh, there you go.
So don't worry about it.
All right. Well, I guess I won't. But I don't know why they put that stuff out. They try to scare people into making changes.
Exactly.
And I understand that to a certain extent.
You
but
must conform.
Well,
when you
it is a booming business, so they're making millions off of it.
Well, maybe. I don't know if they are or not from these guys, but it just does seem a little ridiculous because, they say, oh, well, this is worst case scenario. Well, duh. Could it be any worse? Could it be any worse than how you
could
present?
get nailed by an asteroid.
Yeah, that's true. But
Get violated by a dolphin.
I just don't really know what the point
Surrounded by a dolphin.
Trying to scare the bejesus out of everybody. You kind of want to throw your hands up.
We
Well,
want
why
the
bother
bejesus
doing
to-
anything? If that's the case, might as well, screw the planet.
Have a good time tonight, man. You never
Yeah.
know.
Screw it. You better have fun now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, let's
It's
do
a little far off. I don't think I'll worry quite yet.
right. I guess. But then you're accused of not caring about your grandkids.
I
Casey.
worry.
I don't have any grandkids.
Okay.
Me neither.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I guess there's that.
And for anybody that has grandkids, you're on your own.
Okay. All right. Well,
Why do you worry, Pete?
well, you want
I do what I can, but I still, I've limited my driving recently, but I still drive a big van. But I do try and cut back where I can.
Well, that's what
you
I'm
know?
saying. You can do little things, and they can say, "Hey, try to do this, try to do that," but they don't got to say the end of the world's going. You throw your hands up in the air and go, "Why bother doing anything then? If the end is coming, then why are we bothering?" That's
Well,
kind of how I
think the
read
end
it.
is coming. It's just not going to be what they think. It's going to be a nuke.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for that.
Well, let's
He's
just
Mr.
perk up the
Brightside.
cheeriness.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's that.
I need a drink.
Yeah. Well,
Is it happy hour yet?
well, there's
Time
another
for a
story.
service interval and drinking.
DEMA put out a notice this week, Diving Equipment and Marketing Association. They follow, legislative issues that affect divers and the dive industry. And there's something going on right now behind the scenes in the legislature, especially out in California. I guess it's just California at the moment.
Not California.
I'm not positive about this. This might be a federal thing, but unfortunately, it's a result of the Conception fire that happened several years ago, where a bunch of people died off the
Actually,
coast
I
of
think that's a
Catalina.
Coast Guard thing.
Well, so that would be federal, yeah. So but what they're they put through some or propose some legislation that is come from that tragic accident to basically give victims, like if something happens and you're on a dive boat and God forbid things go south and someone dies, obviously that's a tragic situation, just like it was with that Conception dive boat. And there's a old maritime law that kind of limits how much money the insurance companies can sue for, like up to the value of the boat or the business or whatever the case may be. But of course, how lawyers are, they want more. And as one of the, as the Congress legislation and the I think it was some of the Democratic senators in California or representatives proposed this legislation to kind of blow through that law that's been in effect since 1841?
98.
What? 1898?
1898.
Yeah, a long, long time. It's been, law. And it's there basically to keep, it was put in place to protect boating companies, really, to keep them so look, stuff can happen. The ocean's a big place. Things can go south. Mother Nature is Mother Nature. And, they put this in place basically to make sure that, hey, we want you to be able to, do your business and, and something could happen. An act of God could happen and people could, die or whatever the case may be. But we don't want you to go out of business necessarily because of it either. And, that was kind of what it was designed for back in the day. They still use it today, and they don't think that's fair. At least some of the legislators in California proposed this bill. So, okay, honestly, you may agree with that, and maybe there shouldn't be any limitations. Of course, the people that suffer, they should have some recourse if there is some negligence or whatever the case may be. But the caveat to passing a bill like this is that it affects all of us. And it could potentially, and this is why DEMA is involved with making the dive industry's voice heard about this legislation, is it could literally make it almost impossible for a dive operator to run a boat in the U.S. And, that's, when we go diving, there is a risk with scuba diving, right? You have to sign a release that you know how to scuba dive. You're going to follow some basic rules and things like that. Now, stuff can go wrong. Act of God, a boat can sink or whatever. And maybe there is some negligence and that kind of thing. And that's all part of it. But you don't go scuba diving without assuming some risk. And the problem we have now, if this bill goes through, if it gets turned into law, the dive operators in the U.S. aren't going to be able to get any insurance. They're not going to be able to insure at anything, or the bare minimum. It's going to go so high that guess who's going to end up paying for it? You and me as divers on these boats. I mean, it's this is one of those things where they're thinking they're doing a good thing, but they're potentially making things 10 times worse. What do you think, Pete?
Have you seen the horse law that they have in the state of Florida?
The horse law? No, I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a horse law, and there's usually, if you go to a stable and ride a horse, they've got this big disclaimer saying that if you break a leg, if you lose your life, it's on you. Horses be dangerous if you want to play around, you know, you're going to find out. So I think scuba diving is the same way. You're putting yourself into a situation where it's easy to overlook stuff. It's easy. And, you know, the person who overlooks stuff, they should be liable. Like on the Conception thing, the captain and the crew definitely dropped the ball, but holding the business responsible for that, I think sends the wrong message. When the people screw up, they should pay for it. They should go to jail.
Yeah.
They should whatever.
Yeah, there's plenty of recourse for negligence, I think. The problem is, you know, it comes down to money. I mean, because, you know, it came down to like, well, the insurance companies for the families, you know, maybe they didn't feel they could sue for enough money for their loss, which you could never pay someone enough money for losing someone. I totally understand that part of it. But on the other flip side of the coin, like you said, how much liability should the business take? And basically in that case, business is out of business. I mean, that totally did in that operator.
Killed his business.
Yeah, he doesn't exist, and he's going to be
business before the first lawsuit.
Yeah, I mean, so it's done. That whole issue is done, and this is you know, kind of an offshoot of that whole tragedy. That, you know, some legislators thought that maybe this would be a good thing to consider, but they're not looking at the long game here of how this could affect us as far as an industry.
They don't care.
They don't care. Well, maybe they don't care, or they don't realize the ramifications of what this means, which literally could shut down dive operators, charter operators in the U.S., and that would just be ridiculously bad. And
Greg, we need court reform in Florida.
Yeah.
You know, not Florida, the whole state, whole United
country.
States. We
That's
need
right.
reform. People can sue for too much at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, we got to keep things in check. So, and that's one of the things that the DEEM organization does. They keep their eyes on these kind of things. So, just throwing it out there so you're informed as well. More coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio.
Would you like to talk diving? Greg the Dive Master's all toweled down and ready to take your call now. Call Scuba Radio at 1-888-88-SCUBA.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater. Dive computers for demanding divers.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving, flying, and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving, flying, and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why I wanted to tell you about Nanook Professional Protective Cases. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook cases generally cost less than similar products currently on the market. From an iPhone to a full set of dive gear, whatever you need to shield from the elements, Nanook Professional Protective Cases has the size, shape, and color for you. Go to nanook.com. That's NANUK.com for Nanook Professional Protective Cases. The evolution of protection.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new ScubaRadio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 ScubaRadio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New ScubaRadio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Snorkel shot! Snorkel shot! Snorkel shot!
Ever spend the weekend in the deep end? The water's fine, y'all, so just come on in to the deep end.
Guys, I'm bringing the party to you.
Of a dive bar. Of this diving bar. Come on. Talking about a dive bar.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio with me, and then we got Vinny Two Tanks, Jerry the Diver Guy, Casey the Tobacco Nut, and Pete from Scuba Board, Pete the Tinker. He might be both.
Hey, whatever you're into.
It's been a while. He's been drinking for the last two hours, so he probably needs to about this time. You think?
I think I've not been drinking today.
No?
What? I only sound that way.
Okay. All right. Well, so you have no excuse.
I have not.
Okay. Well, CJ said during the commercial break, says, gosh, man, this is really getting heavy. Can we talk about something a little bit more uplifting?
Lighten up, Francis.
Okay. So what would you like to talk about?
It's not my show.
Hey, I think we should talk about the one most vicious animal in the water today.
Humans?
Good point.
The hippopotamus.
The hippopotamus
Kills more people in Africa than any other animal. And the oldest one in captivity is at Homosassa Springs.
They have a hippopotamus at Homosassa Springs?
Yes, they
Come on,
do.
Greg.
Where?
Come on, they're pronounced
At
hippopotamus.
the Springs. At the animal park.
At the
Right
animal?
there,
Okay. All
Drive
right.
to Crystal River. You see the huge manatee? That's Homosassa Springs.
Right. Yeah, it's a manatee
Park.
hotspot. Right.
And they have the oldest hippopotamus in captivity.
How old is the oldest hippopotamus there in
Like
Homosassa?
60 years old, 60 some odd years old.
And how big is it? How heavy? Do you know?
I haven't weighed it, Greg.
Okay, but I mean
Sorry.
it's a monster one. If it's that old, it must be a
it's a
huge
big, full-grown
hippo.
What do you think, like a
hippopotamus,
half
yeah.
ton?
No, it'd be more than that.
A whole ton?
Oh,
I
they're
think it's a
couple tons.
leftover from when they were filming all those adventure movies up there.
Oh, really? What you mean back in the day of like Sea Hunt and Tarzan and stuff?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
That's,
Creature. Okay.
That's where the monkeys come from the Tarzan movie.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah, there's
I
monkeys
thought
over
they came
there.
from Mama Monkeys.
No, they're over at Silver
They went to
Springs. They got the
Silver
monkey.
Springs.
Monkeys, yeah. But a hippopotamus. I didn't know about a
They have
hippopotamus.
Monkey Island in Homosassa River, too.
Okay. It's Homosassa.
They say
Okay.
don't approach them. They got herpes.
Whoa, hey. I don't know if that's still true.
That's
I
a
think
little personal information from Jerry there.
Yeah.
Just ask his
That's
doctor.
what
All right,
saying.
we were supposed to end on a upbeat note. I thought.
Thank you.
I don't think this is really going in that
Jerry
direction.
dragged us down.
Unless you're a fan of the hippo. I mean, I didn't know they had hippo. I actually went to Disney's Animal Kingdom this week.
What?
And I saw hippos there. They have hippos at Disney's
And a giraffe.
thing. They have giraffe, the whole thing. Yeah. I don't. I'm trying to think if I saw any real in-water critters though over there. I don't guess they really have much in that regard. But
They're the one of the few places you can actually see a Matterhorn.
excuse me.
They're one of the
Matta
few
who?
places you could see a Matterhorn.
Don't.
Go ahead.
I don't know. What's the matter, you?
Hey. Yeah. They had otters.
Hits keep coming.
And I ought to say goodbye to Pete now. But no, it's seeing critters. We like doing it. I mean, that's one of the main draws for going. I didn't know. I mean, you can't get in the water with a hippo, like you said. They kill people all the time, especially in Africa.
You get in the water with them once.
I guess, yeah. They look like they'd be fun and gentle, like the manatee. But as
I bet they don't care about bubble curtains either.
yeah, I don't know if that would scare a hippo. Yeah, but you're not going to be diving in water with hippos.
6 ribs.
They're not going to be. They're not going to be doing that because they're in like muddy water all the time. They're not in like
Did you see
dive
the
areas.
new PSA put out by the Park Service? to animals? You know, it's like, no. And it's got a guy next to a moose taking a picture of a moose. Yes. And it's got a moose like, you know, a half a mile away. At the very bottom left of it, it's got a picture of this guy right next to, you know, taking a picture in the face of a bison, buffalo.
Yeah.
And the caption is, why?
Okay. So yeah.
It's go look it up. It's a fun poster to share with your family and friends.
Okay. Well, look, you know, I don't know that you need signs and with stuff like that. You know, if you're dumb enough to get that close to a bison, say you're on Catalina
It's called
Island.
Darwin's Law.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think those issues are going to solve themselves.
Yep.
It's a Darwin moment.
Maybe. Very well. Could be.
Yeah, but then modern science keeps dummies alive.
Okay.
True.
I thought is that a good, are we ended on a high note or a low note? I mean, I guess, you know, life is good. So
the high note would
whether
be
you're a boater or a floater.
The high note would be the Long Beach
Life is
show
better
next
when you leave a
week.
floater.
yeah, well, exactly. 2 weeks, Long Beach, California. We'll be there. It'll also be my birthday weekend. So
The big dive shows are back.
86
The
years young.
countdown has begun. So, Long
86,
Beach
that's
and
funny.
then the Keys.
Yes, it's going to be a good time. So we got to have that.
Who's
to look
going to the
forward
Keys?
CJ,
Me.
Jared the diver guy. Who knows? Pete, maybe he'll come down. Everybody can come. It's you know, anyone listening can come too. So there you go. That's ending on a high note. We'll go with that. That's the best we got for now. And okay, that was even better. Thank you, CJ. And on that note, literally, we'll wrap it up. Till next time, remember, it's always better where, gang? Come on.
Where it's wetter.
Safe diving, everyone.
On the boat or down below, if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio.
This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, you know, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.